Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, January the 16th. The Canucks are on day 2 of their league-mandated 5-day break, so they don't play again until this Saturday when they take on Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. Over the weekend, I tweeted out, in anticipation of and looking ahead to next year's roster, I asked what rookies do you think will make the team or have a chance of sticking with the team next season. And I threw out the two names of Elias Pettersson and Olli Juolevi. Got a lot of good response on Twitter. Maybe Canucks fans were dying to talk about the team or they were bored by the Minnesota game or whatever. Got a lot of good responses commenting on those two, and also a lot of Adam Gaudette and Thatcher Demko, which I'll get to in a second. So Elias Pettersson first. Yes, many of you pointing out he's got to bulk up still, maybe gain about 10 or 15 more pounds before he plays. But I just have the sneaky suspicion that he's going to make the team next year. The Canucks are desperate for scoring. It's obviously the one thing he does very well. He's having another really good season in the Swedish Elite League. So let's see what happens when he comes here next year for training camp. Could he surprise? Could he have a good camp and maybe start the year with the team and get his little 9 or 10 game tryout before being sent down to Utica, if that's indeed an option for him? We will see. I know the optimistic side of me wants to see him play in a Canucks uniform for the entire season, but we'll see if his game's at that level yet. I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful for him. So that's Elias Pettersson. Olli Juolevi, I think some people were disappointed at his camp. Maybe he was as well this past summer. So we'll see how he does next year. He's playing another strong, having a good season actually in the Finnish men's league. Playing under Sami Salo, not with him. Sami Salo's too old to play, but at least Salo's one of the coaches, helping him develop, helping him mature as a player. So as a D-man, they take a little longer to develop. I know a lot of people are antsy to see how this 5th overall pick will pan out, but he had a decent World Juniors and would love to see him come back with a more mature and more complete and more sound game, and maybe he'll have a chance to make the opening night roster. Of course, a lot of things got to happen. The Canucks already logjam with 8 NHL blue liners. Maybe Goodbranson leaves, goes. Maybe another defenseman gets dealt, Hutton or someone. So we'll see if Juolevi can actually make the roster coming out of the training camp next season. A lot of people pointing out Adam Gaudette, and rightfully so. He's having a monster year in the NCAA in college hockey, nominated for the Hobey Baker Award, and putting up many, many points, gifted offensively. Gritty player, gritty enough, tough to play against. So, I think a lot of people would love to see Gaudette come in next year and basically, or come in at the end of this season, very similar to what Brock Besser did. After his college season ends, no matter how far they get him into the lineup at the end of this season, maybe for 5, 6, 10 games, whatever it may be, and he's already got a head start for next season. And that's something that worked very well for Brock Besser. Maybe Adam Gaudette can do the same and fill a hole at center. Let's presume that Henrik retires. Then down the middle, you have Horvat and you have Sutter. And then does Pettersson play center, play wing? And then maybe there's a perfect spot for Adam Gaudette to come in. And then you have all the guys like Gauntz and Dowd and all the guys that will play the fourth line as well. So I guess Adam Gaudette will have a really good opportunity, and we might get to see him as early as the end of this season. A lot of people brought up the name of Thatcher Demko. He's plying his trade in Utica right now, and he's one of the great hopes, so to speak. And we'll see. I think if Anders Nilsson continues to struggle, the Canucks might either release him or put him in the minors or put him on waivers, whatever it may be. And I could see a tandem of Markstrom and Demko next season. Markstrom seems to be the more confident, or the stronger, more developed between Markstrom and Nilsson. And like I said, Nilsson had a good start, but he's tailed off a bit. So imagine if Nilsson continues to tail off, could Demko fight for one of the 2 spots with the big club next season? I tend to think so. So maybe Demko has a decent shot at making the team. A couple other names I want to mention. One of them is forward Cole Lind. He's having a monster season with the Kelowna Rockets in the WHL right now. 2nd round pick from last year. Would a spot on the pro team next year be a little early? I think so, but I think he's no more than 2 or 3 years away, and given his offensive flair, much needed by the Canucks, like I said. So I'm very excited to see what he can do. Jonah Gadjevich, I think he's at least 2 or 3 years away, if not 3 or 4. Not having as dominant season as his 2nd round pick counterpart Cole Lind, but still coming off a flu, coming off the World Juniors. So we'll see how his second half of the season. But you never know. A lot can happen between now and training camp, obviously, and that's why we're kind of spitballing here. We're 6 months away from that point. 2 other names really quickly. One of them is Jonathan Dahlen, one of our another one of our Swedish prospects, one of our forwards, and he'll be 20. I think he's 20 right now, so he'll have a chance to make the team. And a few people mentioned him on Twitter as well. So could we see both Pettersson and Dahlin making the team next year? That would be exciting. It would give you the remnants of a potential first line in the future. So yeah, really interested. He's kind of being overshadowed by the Petterssons and Ulevis of the world this season. But Jonathan Dahlin could easily come in next season, have a really good training camp, and also make the team, or at least get that 10-game tryout again before being sent to Utica if that's the case. And lastly, one guy I want to bring up, who was I going to bring up? Oh yes, a few people mentioned Philip Holm. The Canucks signed him to a 1-year contract last season, so this is his 1 year, obviously. So the Canucks will have to decide whether or not they're going to extend him. He's having a pretty good season in the AHL, getting a lot of points, especially on the power play. And the Canucks, another thing they haven't got, going with their lack of scoring, is they haven't got a lot of scoring from their D-men. So would they look at extending him? Would they look at even bringing him up? Let's say Goodbranson and Hutton or people get traded. Would they bring him up at the end of this season to give him a look? We will see. But he would technically be a rookie as well next season if he makes the team. So there's a lot, that is if he doesn't play more than 10 games this season, which I don't think he will. So there's a lot there. The cool thing is the prospect cupboard is not bare for once. It is actually full. I wouldn't say it's overflowing, but it's getting there. Maybe a couple of years of good draft picks, and it will be overflowing. But I would love to hear what you think. Out of all these guys, who do you think has the best chance of making the team next year? Pettersson, Juolevi, Gaudette, Demko, Lind, Gadjevich, Dahlin, and Philip Holm. So there's 8 guys that you can choose from. You can put in a write-in vote as well. I think I had a brain fart for a second. Lastly, it's not like the Canucks don't bring rookies up, but it's not like they do a lot of it either. This season, obviously, Brock Besser, we know the wonderful season he's having. Actually, in 2015, let's go back. 2014, Bo Horvat was the rookie on the roster. 2015, they actually had Virtanen and Jared McCann start the season, and Ben Hutton, that was his rookie year. So there were 3 rookies in 2015. 2016, it was Ben Hutton. It was Troy Stetcher, excuse me. So let's try that again. 2014 was Bo Horvat. 2015 was Virtanen, McCann, and Hutton. 2016 was defenseman Troy Stetcher, and 2017, of course, we know it's Brock Besser. So in the past 4 seasons, the Canucks have brought up anywhere between 1 and 3 rookies to start with the team and to, in most cases, to stick with the team for the season. What will happen in the 2018-2019 season, we'll find out in about 6 to 7 months. Obviously, I'm looking for content here with the Canucks not playing, but I would love to read your comments below. Okay, thanks for letting me ramble, but I'm really intrigued to see how these players do over the next 6 months, next 3 months, and then 6 months training camp, and then the big club starting in October. We shall see how many rookies will be on that opening night roster. Leave a comment below. Would love to read it. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. I've gone 8 minutes. That's way too long. And I hope you guys have a really great day. God bless and go Canucks go.